start to shake the day off. Whew. Just wiggle into any kind of spots that are feeling like they need to release before we can even get started. And then we'll start, yeah, I know, once you start this, it's hard to stop, right? We could do this for just an hour here. So, and then we'll start to find a mountain pose with everything in alignment, the feet hip-width distance apart, right? Hips over the ankles, shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders. All right. And we'll start to just let our breath smooth out. So try and notice how you're feeling right now. And then we'll take a moment to notice after we do some breathing if anything has shifted. So when we're nice and tall and upright like this, the breath can easily flow. And once your breath is smoothed out, begin to let it deepen. So you can put your hands to your belly if you want to feel something, or just keep them down by your side. But as you exhale, notice how your belly button floats closer toward the spine. And then as you inhale, things start to expand. Exhaling and inhaling. And as you do this, the breath is able to start going all the way to the tips of the fingers, the tips of the toes, and the crown of the head, just filling the whole body so we get as spacious as we can just with breath. And we're going to, as the moon is releasing, we are going to release our day now. So turn your palms out, and with the feet nice and grounded, take an exhale here. Now, as you inhale with the palms turned up, bring the arms up nice and long. Be careful of what the shoulders are doing. We don't want them hiking up. And you might stop here, lower, or your arms might be ready to come all the way up. Now turn your palms to face the earth and exhale. Press right down through center and press anything that you don't want to carry into your practice down into the earth. So we're going to do that again. Draw up, bring energy up, enthusiasm for tonight's practice, and go ahead and press down. Release anything that does not serve you right now. Just press it into the earth. And just do that 2 more times. Notice what's happening in your body. Can the feet stay grounded even as the arms lift? Is the spine continuing to stay long? And after your final exhale here, just come back to your mountain pose and now check in again. Has anything shifted for you? How's the breath doing? Is there a little more sense of calmness? We're just checking in, not forcing. All right, and let's loosen up a bit here. So we're going to start taking the spine in its various directions that it moves. So you might want to take your feet slightly wider than hip width distance, knees and hips kind of soft here, and take your arms out with the elbows bent. We're moving into cats and cows. So as you exhale, take your forearms toward each other. And then as you inhale, take the elbows back, shine the heart up without dropping the head back. So we're moving through cats and cows with the elbows bent. The arms are participating greatly here. next time you're forward, just hold here for a moment and then draw your arms up. Inhale, exhale, bring your hands down by your side. Shake out a little bit. We're going to take the feet wider than hip width distance with the toes facing out. So put your hands on your hips and notice that the knees go right through the center of the feet. The feet, all four corners of the feet are grounded here, right? Big toe mound, little toe mound, inner heel, outer heel, and we're going down and up. So we just want to have a natural movement here as we take the arms up and hold on to the elbows and begin tilting. So let's go ahead and tilt to the left, and if the knees want to bend slightly, let them. And then come center and tilt to the right. And tilt left. And remember, we warm up everything first, so it's not necessary to go too far into your first set of tilts. Maybe go a little farther each time. Side to side here. And now we're warmed up, so we're going to add on, take it over to the left, and make a big circle around. Oh, and up. And if that felt good, do it again. Yeah. And up. We're going to the left, and maybe one more time. And come on up. And just for fun, just change the cross of your arms, right? So they've been like one way, and make them the other way. And then we'll tilt to the right and start to make those circles again. Here's where we might want the knees to bend a bit. Bending and straightening. Oh, just feeling that nice release. Oh, and the next time you come up, stay up, release the arms, and shake everything out. Now we will be keeping the feet in this position. If your legs need a break, feel free to take them together and shake them out. But as we start twisting, we want to be wider than hip width distance and still the knees going over the toes anytime we bend, okay? So hands are, let's put them in Anjali Mudra here. Hands to the heart. Inhale. And as you exhale, twist to the right and center. Now twist to the left and center. Now do it with long arms and come back to center. Long arms to the left and center. So we're going to twist right with the elbows bent, twist left, elbows bent, long arms right and center, long arms left and center. And it's right and center and left and center, long arms and center and long arms and center. Again, right and left, long arms and long arms and center. All right, let's shake things out. Inhaling and exhaling. And we'll be working more on the rotation of the spine in just a moment. Okay, but we do want to do a little extra heart opening, right? The moon is waning, it's losing light, and we're losing light every day. So let's go ahead and come back to feet hip width distance apart, mountain pose, feet are grounded, and we'll do some standing camel. So your hands are going to be on your hips here with the fingertips pointing down, okay? And then you start to draw your elbows toward each other and start to shine your heart up to the sky. We're never throwing the head back. The head just stays along for the ride with the spine. Standing camel. Oh yes, nice shoulder opening here. And come on back up. Okay, now shake your arms out for a second. If that was enough for the front of your shoulders, and it well might be, you can just continue with your hands right there. Maybe you want to clasp your hands this time, clasp your fingers, and we'll do the same thing. So your hands are either on your hips or clasped. Shoulder blades roll toward each other, heart shines up, head does not drop back, right? It just follows the spine. Yeah. Oh, and release. Whew. All right, let's do one more. So maybe you did the clasping, but you feel like you like this better. Either way, okay, come to the one you like best. And if you're doing clasping for the second time, clasp your fingers, change them by one. You know what I mean? Right? Because we always clasp our hands the same way. And let's go ahead and shoulder blades toward each other, heart shines up, open up. Oh, just feel that energy and light pouring out from your heart. And then come back up to center. Whew, and release and shake things out. All right, so we're going to be coming to the back of the mat now and doing some knee down side planks. All right, so we're finding mountain pose at the back of the mat. Inhale and exhale. And don't forget, anytime we do plank, like you could be doing things at the wall instead. You can always have a chair nearby. This is always your practice, so do it your way. So the feet are hip-width distance apart. Take a couple of breaths here. Inhale, float your arms up. Here's a good place to do it your way. Exhale, swan dive as far down as you want to go and no farther. So you could be fairly high with your heart still above your waist. You could be a lot lower with your hands closer to your feet. You could be anywhere in between. Now bend your knees, bring your hands to your thighs, shine your heart forward for half lift, sink your hips toward the mat, bring your hands down, and walk your hands forward to down dog. Remember, you can be coming to a wall. Inhale and exhale here. In down dog. All right, and now we're going to bring the right knee down, spin open, so the left foot, your left foot is to the mat and your left arm comes up. We're in a knee down side plank. If you need extra padding for your knee, I'm sorry I forgot to say this, grab a towel or a blanket to put under it or fold up the corner of your mat, the side of your mat. Bring your left hand down and come back to down dog. Now we'll bring the left knee down. I'm going to do the same side so I can watch, but you bring your left knee down. The right foot spins down and the right arm comes up. You're in a knee down side plank. Release and come into downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Walk your hands back towards your feet. And when you get there, float the arms out and up, palms touch. And hands come heart center. And release. We're going to be approaching it from a plank this time, plank to down dog to the knee down side plank. Again, if you want something extra padding for your knees, take a moment to grab it. We're in mountain pose at the back of the mat. All right, inhale and exhale, float the arms up, inhale. Exhale, swan dive. Remember, this is your swan dive. You go where you should be right at this point in your practice. Hands to the thighs, half lift, shine your heart forward, sink the hips down, hands down, walk all the way forward to a plank. Now this could be a knee down plank, could be knee up plank. You're in plank, and then take it to down dog here. We're going back to the right knee down, spin open to the left. You may want to straighten your bottom leg and be in a knee up side plank. You may not. Bring your left hand down, come into downward facing dog. Other side, left knee down. Remember, I'm going to the same side so I can see you. Open up to the right. Straighten the bottom leg or don't. Bring your hand down, come into downward facing dog. And walk your hands back to your feet. When you get here, float the arms out and up. Palms touch. And hands come heart center. And release. Everybody good to go through that one more time? Are we okay? All right. Was that clear about bringing the bottom leg straight if you want? Here we go. Feet are hip width distance apart. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, swan dive over those hip creases, legs are straight. Take a half lift, shine your heart forward. Sink your hips down, your hands come to the mat. We're coming into a plank. Now, if you're in knee up plank and your spine is swaying, bring your knees down and be in a better plank position first. Good, and then come into downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Okay, go ahead and bring your right knee down, spin open to the left, straighten the bottom leg if you feel like it. Come back to down dog. And bring your left knee down, bring the open to the right, straighten the bottom leg if you feel like it. And come back to down dog. Now we're going to stay in down dog, bend one knee and then the other, pedal the feet, take one heel down and hold, take the other heel down and hold, take both heels down and hold, and then bring both knees down to the mat. Try and get them there at the same time. Sit off to the side and find seated mountain pose. Ooh, shake out the wrists, shake out the legs. Spine is nice and long, and breathe. We'll give the breath a moment or two to settle down here. Inhale and exhale. Okay, so let's move into some core work, shall we? Why, yes, we shall. All right, and we're going to do, well, let's go ahead and I wanted to do crisscrosses, so let's go ahead and lay down with the feet here. Just your knees are bent, the feet are hip width distance apart, and just for a moment, let your knees open and close. Alrighty, now we're going to experiment. Take your legs straight up, and if your legs are straight up like your ankles are right over your hips, that's not a very challenging position for your core. You will feel your core, but not overly much. Now take your legs down about 15 degrees. You start to feel your core a little more, right? And another 15 degrees, and you're feeling that core. And take them about halfway down, and okay, here really the core starts to kick in. If the spine is telling you that's far enough, or take the legs back up a little bit, listen to your spine. If you're okay, take the legs a little lower, and then a little lower, and then hover the heels off the mat, and slowly draw the legs back up. Hug your knees in and rock side to side. All right, raise one foot and wiggle at me if you're okay with the double leg version. Otherwise, I'll demonstrate a single leg version if that works better for anybody. Okay, so now you see how things change as the legs get lower, right? And you found a point at which you have gone far enough. So we're going to crisscross at the ankles, and you're going to still pay attention to that and listen to your body. Hands down by your side. Legs are straight up, and we crisscross. Now take the legs down 15 degrees and crisscross. And you might well stay here for the rest of the time. You can go another 15 degrees down if that works for you, and crisscross. Take the legs about halfway down. So we were at 90 degrees, now we're at 45. And if you're going farther, take the legs a little farther down, crisscross, a little farther down, crisscross. Remember, you're stopping where you need to stop for your back and your body, and then hovering the heels, crisscross. Woo, let's come to stillness here and slowly draw the legs up. Notice we didn't fling them up, we drew them up, hug the knees in, and rock side to side. Okay, all right, So that was quite a bit. We're going to go in reverse now. So go ahead and extend your legs to wherever your stopping point was. So if you were hovering, hover. If you stopped at 45, go there. If you stopped here, go there. Okay, wherever your stopping point was, crisscross. Now come up. Continue to come up. Come up. Come up. And come up until you're vertical, crisscrossing. Whew. And bring the knees in. Oh. Inhale and exhale. Now just think about which direction did you like going better. Okay, so we'll do that one more time in reverse. Come out to your stopping point, crisscross. And slowly bring the legs up from wherever you started out. And we are coming up and approaching vertical, and we're going to do one more thing here. Stop crisscrossing and draw the legs back down to wherever your starting point was right then. And then hug your knees in and rock side to side. All right, so let's go ahead and hold on to the right leg at the shin or the hamstring and bring the left foot to the mat. Just draw the right knee in towards you just to release things and switch sides. Hold on at the shin or the hamstring, right foot to the mat, holding on to your left leg. Bring both feet to the mat and let your knees gently open and close. Whew. All right, so we'll go ahead and do a little bit of oblique work here. Okay, so yeah, we'll get that done. Keep your left foot on the mat and raise your right leg straight up. Now take your left arm up. And you're going to just have your right hand down about 6 inches away from your hips for support. Start to raise your shoulders and then cross your left arm towards your right foot. And take it back down. We're going to do that a few more times. Cross your left arm, reaching toward the right foot. And take it back down. Left arm reaches across, tries to touch the right foot, may never get there. Mine certainly isn't. And down, and take it up and across. And down. All right, bring the right foot down, left leg up. Right arm up, and reach up and across. Right fingertips, reach for the left foot, and down. Up and across, and down. Up and across, and down. And one more, up and across, and down. Ooh, bring the left foot down, let the legs shake out. Let the knees move side to side so the spine can relax and release here. And now we're going to work on the hips. Now this alone is starting to work on the hips. But by request, we will do water wheel, which is always a fabulous thing to do. So both feet are on the mat. Hands are by your hips, away from the hips, but down. And right knee in, point up, flex down. Now what we just did, you might notice as you move into your and through your water wheel, how the legs straight up, and then as it comes down, the core engages a little less intensely here than what we were just doing, but you might notice the difference in how the core is as that right leg moves from vertical to down. And the next time the right knee is in, hold it in, flex your right foot, and we reverse, flex out, point up, knee in. It's out and up, knee in. And you keep going. And the next time the knee is in, just hold it in. Okay, we're going to hold on to the shin or the hamstring, depending on which is better for you. So when you hold on to your shin, you're compressing the knee a little more. And take the right leg out to the right and back to center. So either way, we went in a circle, we're going side to side. Now we're going to come back to center. Take the left hand outside of the right leg, take the right arm out to the side. Let that left leg straighten any amount, and let the right knee come just past the belly button so you get a nice stretch in the IT band. And then let that right knee come all the way over to the left as far as it wants to go, and take your gaze past your right fingertips. And now as you make your way back towards center, let your right ankle slide across your left thigh. Draw your legs in towards you. Put both hands on your right shin. With your right foot flexed, move around. So you may want to make circles with the hips, rock them back and forth, do all of the above, side to side. All kinds of hip release here. All right, and then release everything, unwind, 2 feet to the mat, and let those knees just gently open and close, little butterfly wings here. We're ready to start water wheel on the left, hands down, left knee in, point up, flex down. So our goal here is the hips, right? So we're keeping the right knee bent so we can do a nice focus on the hip here. Knee in, point up, flex down. And just think about any stress or gunk from the day just being washed out of the hip as you do this. And the next time your right knee is in, hug it in. That's your left knee, by the way. And flex your left foot. We reverse. Flex out, point up, knee in. There you go. All right, and the next time the left knee is in, you're going to hold on once again, either shin or hamstring, whichever works better for you, and let that left knee open out to the left and come back to center. Out and back to center. And then come back to center. Right hand comes outside the left leg. Your right leg will straighten any amount. Left arm out to the side, and let the left knee just come just past the belly button. Pause here for that nice IT band stretch. And now let the left knee come more over to the right as you turn your gaze toward your left fingertips. It's a combination of stretch for the whole outer up part of the left leg, as well as a nice extra twist for the spine. And as you come back through center, let your left ankle slide across your right thigh with the left foot flexed. Draw the legs in towards you and freely move around. So discover what feels best for your hip. And then coming back to center, uncross, bring both feet to the mat, and gently open and close the knees. Coming back to center here. All right. Raise one foot and wave at me if you're ready to move on. Okay, so let's come into tabletop, and we're going to work on nice arms. Okay, so you work on your arms a lot. Let's just review what we want to have happening here. Okay, we're going to bring the hands to the mat and rotate the shoulders open so that the elbow creases are facing forward. And then when you come into your push-up, your elbows are heading back. I'll show you from here, right? And this is how we get the triceps. Okay? A lot of times you see push-ups done elbows out. That uses the biceps. We're looking for our triceps right now because we get to use our biceps more in our day-to-day, so we want to focus on the triceps. So once again, give your knees whatever they're asking for in terms of padding. Now let's come into a knee down plank. Roll the shoulders open so that those elbow creases are facing forward, and push up, so we're going down, up, and hips back toward the heels. Okay? And do it again. And at any time, if you want to do this with your knees up, do that. If you can do that without your spine being wobbly, like I thought I was ready and then I got stuck. I was like, oh my goodness, now what? But you can do it with your knees up or knees down. Our focus is really on the triceps here and keeping the spine nice and long. And after your next one, find a child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide apart, and just make sure your forehead is in contact with either your mat or make a pillow with your hands. Slide a block under your forehead. Don't make your neck hold that big heavy head right now. We're going to start to float our way into down dog, noticing the entire movements that it takes to get us to down dog. All the muscles, all the movements. How did you get to down dog? Remember, down dog, you can always have your hands on the wall or a chair. We want a nice spinal lengthening here. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to start to walk the feet toward the hands, taking them a little wider as you go, till they're mat width distance apart. And then bringing the forearms to the thighs, bring your hands to your heart, press through the feet, reach the fingertips up toward the sky. And as you take your arms down, step your feet closer together. Yes, wind up in a beautiful mountain pose. Inhale and exhale. All right, how's everybody doing? Everybody okay? All right, we're going to be doing some crescent lunges in our sun salutation. We'll do low with option for high. So if you want some extra padding for your knees, have it nearby. But the first thing we're going to do is play with the high crescent lunge a little bit. So come to the top of your mat. And remember, high crescent lunge is a balancing pose, so be prepared. Come to the top of your mat. The feet are hip width distance apart. They're nice and square. Your spine is long. Inhale and exhale. And we're also going to do some releasing moves along with that. So go ahead and slide your right leg way back. Now in crescent lunge, the heel stays lifted. Your left knee is over your left ankle, and you're facing straight forward. Magnetize your thighs toward each other, that helps. Find a steady gaze spot and raise your arms, lengthen the spine. Raise your arms and bring them up as high as they'll go without you dumping into your lower spine. Okay? So we're in a high crescent lunge here. Inhale and exhale. And then step forward and release. Did that all make sense? Try that on the left. Slide your left leg way back. Okay, remember, the heel is lifted in high crescent lunge. The heel comes down in warrior one, but if you start to wobble, feel free to bring your heel down. Right knee is over the right ankle. Spine goes long and stays long. Arms come up as high as they can with a long spine. And step forward. So you can see the balance challenge that we encounter there, right? All right, so we'll do that one more time with a little bit of releasing arms. Slide your right leg back, left knee bends, float the arms up, inhale. And now as you exhale, let your arms come behind you. We keep the spine long, core engaged. Exhale back, inhale, arms high, woo. And exhale back, inhale, arms high. Exhale, think about releasing. Inhale, arms high. And step together to the top of your mat. All right, so when you introduce a lot of movement to balance, easy to be thrown off, right? Okay, we're doing that on the left. So it's going to be left leg back, heel lifted, right knee bends, spine lengthens, arms up, inhale, exhale. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. Inhale, hold, and step forward and release. All right, so our first sun salutation, starting on the right, the first half will be with a knee down crescent lunge. Second half will be what we just did as an option. So let's come to the top of the mat here and breathe. Inhale, float your arms up. Exhale, swan dive over straight legs. Bend at the knees, take a half lift. Sink the hips down, hands down. Step back with your right leg. Enjoy this lunge for a moment, and then bring your right knee down. Point the toes behind you, left knee over left ankle. Come into a low crescent lunge. So your right knee is behind that hip, and you're getting a nice stretch. Bring the hands down, and step back to plank. Could be knees up or knees down. Here's a chaturanga. This time we come all the way down, still using those triceps. Hands are under the shoulders, shoulders toward the ears, down the spine. Shine your heart forward. Release. And find your way to downward facing dog. Really take a moment to balance yourself in down dog between two hands and 2 feet. Take your right leg up. Step forward with your right foot and arrange yourself for low crescent lunge. The left knee is back, right knee is over the ankle. Arms are up, low crescent lunge. Bring your hands down, tuck your back toes, lift that back knee. Engage all the muscles of your body here and take a nice big step forward with the back foot. Half lift, forward fold. Float the arms out and up, palms touch. And hands come heart center. And release. So this time we're going to start on the left, and you can bring your knee down for low crescent lunge, or you can leave it up for high crescent lunge. So here we go. Feet are hip width distance apart. Take a breath. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, swan dive, straight, long spine, over straight, long legs, folding from the hip creases, hands to the thighs, heart shines forward, half lift, hands come down. This time the left leg comes back, and we're in that nice little lunge. All right, now you can bring your back knee down or leave it up, and we're coming into crescent lunge. So moving the arms up slowly. Remember to magnetize the thighs toward each other if you're in high crescent lunge. And then bring the hands down and step back to your plank. It could be knees up or knees down. Yes, nice strong planks, and then chaturanga. Yeah, those look beautiful. All right. Come into your cobra. And release, and find your way to down dog. If you're starting to get a little tired, you can stay in table instead of coming to down dog. Or you can think of down dog as a resting pose. Inhale and exhale. Now we take the left leg up, step forward, and decide, right? Are you coming into high or low crescent lunge? Low, you bring the right knee down. High, you magnetize the thighs together. And then we bring the arms up. Oh yeah. All right, everybody bring your hands back down to the mat. Engage all the muscles of your body. Take a giant step forward with your back leg. Take a half lift, forward fold. And float the arms out and up as your palms touch. And your hands come heart center. And release. All right, so shake it out. So that was a lot of heart opening, balancing, leg strengthening, even more hip opening. All those things going on there. So let's just take a few breaths and see how the body is feeling right now. And we're going to do a, well, let's go ahead and do triangle series. So go ahead and take your legs super wide, because I want to open up the sides a little bit more before we come down. Turn your right toes open to the right, left toes in a bit to the left. So for triangle, we take the arms out to the side here, and we'll reach and release a few times, warming up the right side. Reach to the right and release. And now reach, reach, reach. Let your right hand drop to your right leg, and your left hand could stay at your hip if your shoulder prefers that, or your left arm could be straight up. And you gaze toward your right toes, toward the center of your space, and possibly toward your left fingertips. Triangle here, and then come on up. All right. Let's bring the hands to the hips, put the index fingers in the hip creases, turn the toes forward, and we're going to, with a long spine and keeping the hips over the ankles, fold forward. Now you might stop with your heart higher than your hips. You might go halfway and stop, or you might keep going. And then just from wherever you are, roll your hands to your legs. Bring your hands back to your hips. Come up halfway. Take a breath. Come up the rest of the way. Notice how your feet press into the earth to lift your upper body. Inhale and exhale. All right, let's heel toe the feet, shake out the legs for a moment, and come back to wide legs, so we can do that on the left. Left toes turn to the left, right toes in at an angle, arms are out. And we reach and release, reach and release, reach and release. Now reach, reach, reach. Drop the left hand to the left leg. It's not pressing in, so turn your palm out, and then that right arm is either straight up, or if your shoulder feels better with your right hand on your right hip, you can do that. Turn your gaze toward your left toes. Turn toward the center of the room, and then check to see how your balance feels gazing up toward your right fingertips. Good, and then come back up to triangle. Bring your hands to your hips. turn your toes forward, and we're going to come back into a forward fold. So you stop where you stop here. And then turn this forward fold into anything that feels good to you. So just ragdoll it out. Move the body around. Maybe nod the head yes and no. Let the legs bend and straighten. Just start to notice where you feel like you want to go with this. And coming back to center now, we're coming up slowly. So come halfway up, take a breath, and then come the rest of the way up. Still noticing how those feet have to press down to help us lift up. Heel, toe the feet, shake out the legs. Whew. Move the body around. How are you guys doing? Are we good? All right, so let's just move around for a minute here. Freely letting anything work that needs to, going in any direction that might be calling to us. Look around and see if there's anything you want to bring down to the earth with you. We're going to start making our way back down for finishing poses. So you might want to grab a blanket or a sweater to cover up, or socks. Okay. And when you're ready, come back to the top of your mat. Let's find mountain pose, and take your mountain pose and start to visualize where everything is, okay, in your mountain pose. Are your hips over your ankles? Is that where they feel that they are? Are your shoulders over your hips? Ears over shoulders? Arms by your side. Inhale and exhale here. Square on the feet. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Remember those hip creases? We're folding forward over those same hip creases here. And this could be a high swan dive. It could be low. Bring your hands to your thighs. Shine your heart forward. Drop those hips. Bring the hands to the mat and step back to down dog. Okay, if you have a vinyasa left in you, go ahead and do your plank chaturanga, right? Cobra, and then down dog. If you're done with down dog, just come into table. And once you're in either down dog or table, let your hips move side to side. And come back to center. If you're doing a vinyasa, just go ahead and continue with what you're doing. If you're in down dog, bring your knees down, sit off to the side. And eventually we're going to all meet back in seated mountain pose. Almost forgot what this was called. All right, so part of our practice is just accepting and being in community where people might be doing things. Everybody might be doing things a little bit differently, and that's fine too. So we're breathing. Now we're going to take the arms out by the side with the palms face up. Inhale, draw the arms up. The sit bones are pressing into the earth. The spine is lengthening, and the arms are reaching toward the sky. Inhale, turn your palms out, and continue lengthening the spine as you exhale. The fingertips, let's just tap the fingertips down to the mat right now. Now let's do that one more time. Reach, reach, reach. Pressing down to lift up. Now close or defocus your eyes. Turn your palms out. And see if you can touch your fingertips to the mat at the same time. And then when you're done, just shake everything out. Okay, inhale and exhale. All right, we're going to do a couple of soft forward folds, so just softly bring the arms up and just melt forward any amount that feels right to you. And then roll your hands up your legs. Inhale. And one more time, softly fold any amount that feels right for you. And roll back up. We're going to bend the knees and slowly take it down to the mat here. Inhaling and exhaling. And we might as well take a moment to let the knees open and close. That always feels pretty good. All right, so we're going to come back into our pigeon for the hips and hold it a little longer. So let's start out by extending the arms and the legs, both of them. And then draw just the right leg in. Hold on to the shin or the hamstring. Let that left knee bend if it wants to. So this is half wind removing pose here. Now extend both arms and both legs and draw just the left knee in. Let that right leg do what it wants to do. Either stay straight or bend a little bit. So we're relaxing back into the left hip now. Extend both arms and both legs and draw both knees in. And give the spine a little rock side to side here. Once again, you might be holding your shins, you might hold the hamstrings, whatever's more comfortable for you. Now bring your left foot down, take your right ankle across your left thigh, and draw the legs in close to you. This time, instead of holding the shin, we're going to put the right hand through the legs and either clasp the hands around the left hamstring or just hold on to the left leg. The right foot's flexed, and take a moment to bring the left knee in line with the left shoulder. So now we can really feel that right hip in this reclined pigeon, just releasing, releasing. And from here, take your left leg straight up and point and flex that left foot. And then circle one direction and the other. Go ahead, bend your left knee, release the leg, put both feet back down on the mat, and let your knees gently open and close. Now we're going to take the left ankle across the right thigh with the left foot flexed. Draw the legs in toward us, put the left hand through the legs. Hold on to the right hamstring or outside the right leg. Bring the right knee in line with the right shoulder and just let that left hip release, release, release. Send your breath and warmth to that left hip. Now extend your right leg and point and flex the foot. Circle the ankle one direction and the other. And then release, unwind, 2 feet to the mat, little butterfly wings here. Okay, and rest with your knees facing up, your feet hip-width distance apart. Bring your hands down by your side. Spread the fingers wide and wiggle them into a gentle fist. And do that a few times. And then rotate the wrists one direction and the other. Let your hands rest down by your side as you turn your head gently from side to side. Checking to see if there's any stuck areas of the neck. bring your head back to center. And now start scanning your body and reposition or realign or move anything that needs to move as we work our way toward our final relaxation position for this evening. So remember, final relaxation, some people have their legs straight. Sometimes you might have your knees bent. Sometimes you might have your legs up on a chair or a bed like this, right? I wouldn't recommend doing it in the air because that's not restful, but if I had a chair under, this would be nice. Okay. So just get yourself in position for your final relaxation for right now. And then inhale through the nose. And slowly exhale through the mouth, releasing your body onto the support of the earth. Your work is finished for now. Just move into final relaxation. Just let the breath do what it normally does. So begin to bring your awareness back to your space. Invite a deeper breath. Gently bring movement back to your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And on your next inhale, stretch everything long. Exhaling, draw your knees in, give yourself a hug. Find your way over to a side and up to a nice easy seat. And as you turn your gaze to your own good heart and your bright spirit, thank and honor yourself for your practice, and we thank and honor each other for sharing this time. Namaste.